All right, so our guest speaker and webinar leader tonight is Roger Salam. He is an award-winning inspirational speaker. He's a best-selling author of several books on sales and marketing and real estate investing courses. He's also been listed in America's Premier Experts and the recipient of the Thought Leader of the Year Award by the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors. Roger is the chairman and founder of the Winner's Circle, the largest and most respected invitation-only mastermind forum for top-level business leaders and highly successful entrepreneurs. Now, Roger is also an active real estate investor and conducts his own seminars all over the U.S. on the topic of real estate investing and financial freedom. He and his partner owned over 500 investment properties in the greater Tampa area, and currently he buys over 100 properties each month, including this month, which is a ton of properties. So before getting into real estate, he used to be the #1 speaker and trainer for the world-renowned author and motivational speaker Anthony Robbins, which I'm a total big fan of. He has delivered over 4,700 professional talks to various corporations, nonprofit organizations, and educational institutions in North America, Europe, and Asia. He is originally from Dhaka, Bangladesh, and now he resides in Tampa, Florida. He's a graduate of UCLA. He's got 3 lovely daughters and is most passionate about sharing knowledge and empowering people to reach higher levels of personal and business success. So let me just share with you my personal experience with Roger, besides, all this accolades and stuff. I know him as a person. He's a dear friend. He's totally caring about his students. I met him, I think it was in April or May in California in this great event we went to, and I got to hear from him then. And then I got to hear from him again this weekend and chat with him there, and I have learned so much. My business has grown, and I've gotten really fantastic contacts for my business using the methods that he's going to teach tonight. So I'm really excited about that. So with that, put your hands together, even in your house, and give Roger a super warm welcome. Okay, everyone? Woo, Roger!
Hey, thank you, Julie. Thank you. So awesome to be here today, this evening. And so let me go and get started because I've got so much to share with you in so little time. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go straight into my presentation, then I'm going to come back into and bring you back at the end. Is that all right, Julie?
That sounds fantastic.
And I've got 3 goals today. My goal #1 is always to add value for your time. And I respect the fact that you've taken your time, because I can give you money back, but I cannot give you your time back. So I never take your time for granted. #2, I am going to share with you about a very special event. This is my 9th annual special event. And so stick around, and I'm going to show you how you can save tens of thousands of dollars also. And #3 is have fun. I have made a commitment that if it's not fun, then it's not worth doing it. So fortunately, what I do every day, my Mondays are better than most people's Christmas. So with that, I'm going to get started. But before I really get into my presentation, I have one request. Turn that little voice inside of you that says, I know. Because I know is the killer of learning. It has happened to you, it has happened to me that we read a book the 3rd time and we listen to an audio program the 2nd, 3rd, 4th time, and we find something new that we didn't hear, didn't discover the first few times. Why? It's not because it obviously wasn't there. It was there all along, but in personal development we were saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you perhaps were not ready the first 3 times, so even if I say something you know today, then maybe today's the time that you'll internalize it and act on it. Because the Zen proverb of my definition of knowing is to know and not to do is not to know. To know and not to do is not to know. So I share with everyone my morning creed. Every morning when I wake up, my morning creed is to build true confidence through knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, and strength in the body, to get friendship with one another, and to build a strong and happy community. Never fight to achieve selfish ends, but to develop mindful right. Grandmaster Junri, one of my mentors, gave me this creed, and I fell in love with every word of it. And I made it my creed, and I share with my student so that you get a sense of who I am on a daily basis. This is what I practice on a daily basis to be slightly better than I was yesterday. So I am a student of success. And as Julie mentioned, that my first big mentor was Tony Robbins, and I went to see him, and the first thing that it struck me is that I said to myself, what he's teaching, I don't want to dabble in it, I want to master it, because it's way too important. And I said, what better way to master than to work for him? And he'll make sure I live it, otherwise he's going to fire me. So with that, I had zero motivation of earning income or money. I wanted to pay myself through the learning curve, through the mastery of the concept. And because I was so much in love with what I was saying and doing and sharing and making a difference, I ended up making the most money by a long shot than most of the people. And now, Robbins Research is a company that Tony and like him, they study successful people like Tony, and he got me into the habit, and I interview and I study successful people, read autobiographies. What is it about them that separates them from the average people? And I was looking for the silver bullet, and then I came across an old classic. And here's a game that I have read it before, but this time I read it in 2006, and it hit me, this principle, that, oh my God, this principle that I'm talking about is the greatest success principle. What if knowing this one principle could unlock it all for you? What if unleashing this one idea could open the floodgate of success for you? What if this was the holy grail for success? And I'm not making it up. I wish I was smart enough to figure that holy grail myself. I didn't. This man, Napoleon Hill, did. He, at the turn of the century, Andrew Carnegie commissioned him to study the most successful people of his era, and people like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and he studied all of those people, and as a result was the book Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, he actually talks about this greatest success principle. But he's not alone in this mastering this principle. Guess what? Kevin Harrington, my friend from Shark Tank, applies this principle. Tony Robbins applies this principle. Sir Richard Branson applies this principle. John Assaraf, my friend, studies this principle or mastered this principle. Laura Langmeyer, my friend, studied this principle. And they all have any successful people. So let's look at it. What is the principle? It is the principle of mastermind. And then you ask, what is mastermind? Mastermind is when two or more people get together with a spirit of harmony and a common cause to reach either their individual or a shared outcome. That is what mastermind is. That when two minds get together, a third mind, an invisible mind, forms, hence the mastermind. And in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, through his study of these successful people, discovered 17 principles of becoming rich. And out of the 17 principles, 3 are foundational principles that he called fundamental principles, and 14 are supporting principles. That means that all of these people that he studied, they all have these 3 foundational principles. And of these 3 fundamental principles, first is definiteness of purpose, which is knowing what it is that you want. Because if you're on this webinar with me, that you want something, and the more clear you are and definite you are about your purpose, the chances are the faster you're going to get it. But the moment you know what is it that you want, the principle that will help you to achieve it the fastest is the principle of mastermind. Absolutely, I'm going right there. I said, when I read that, I said, oh my God, that's it? If this is the holy grail for success, then why don't I master the mastermind? And I started studying mastermind and the history of mastermind, and then I end up so much so that I wrote a book about the holy grail for success, the mastermind. And the third principle is applied faith. Remember, not faith, applied faith. That means faith with action. And how powerful is mastermind? Let's hear it from Napoleon Hill himself. He said, analyze the record of any man who has accumulated a great fortune and many of those who have accumulated modest fortunes, and you'll find that they have either consciously or unconsciously employed the mastermind principle. He goes on further to state that great power can be accumulated through no other principle. Absolutely, period. So, tonight, in a very short period of time, let me give you the ABCs of Mastermind. And the ABCs of Mastermind, A is for access. Access to successful people. You've heard the saying that it's not, what you know, it's who you know. And once you have access to successful people, then their habits, everything rubs off on you. And just that alone is a principle for taking you from one level to the next. B is for best practices of others. So once you know, literally, there's not enough time to make all the mistakes by yourself. So anything you want to do, find out what others have done and eliminate their mistakes, and then you're not going to completely eliminate your own, but you can minimize those things. And C is for community of like-minded people. It's tough out there. When you have a group of like-minded people, the spirit of harmony there with a common cause to help each other, then that community is the community that you want to hang with. So in a nutshell, this is what a mastermind community is, ABC of mastermind. And I haven't been able to come up with one word for mastermind, but I've been able to come up with 2 words. I don't care what is it that you want. Maybe you can get it without mastermind. But mastermind equals, here's the bottom line, accelerated results. Anything you want in life, you can get it faster, stronger, better, cheaper through the principle of mastermind. So who doesn't? Once you know your definiteness of purpose, you want to get it as fast as you can, better as you can than anything else. And that mastermind principle will allow you to do that. And the 2 core beliefs of mastermind that we have, number 1 is who you associate with and listen to will determine your destiny. Who you associate with and listen to will determine your destiny. I have never had anybody disagree with that. If you truly believe what I'm sharing with you is true, then why not live your life surrounded with successful people by design instead of by accident? And you probably heard the statement that your income is going to be the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. If you hang around with 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th one. But I believe that it's not only true for your income, I believe it's true for your health, your wealth, your happiness, your attitude, and just about everything else will be affected by who you hang around with and associate with and listen to. So if you want to become a millionaire, don't hang around with broke people. Simple as that. If you want to become healthy, don't hang around with couch potatoes. Change your circle. Find another group of people. And it's not as easy as it sounds. And how, especially if the closest associates are your family and close friends that you grew up with. And I know people that have moved and then became successful and then came back. It's like not abandoning them. It's just in that environment they cannot. Number 2, none of us is as smart as all of us. It's a Japanese proverb. It says none of us is as smart as all of us. These are the core foundational beliefs of mastermind. And Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, the universal law of wealth that's made all the difference is now the cornerstone of my Winner Circle mastermind. It is the principle. And literally what we talk about is a mastermind. The mastermind, it is the cornerstone of the Winner Circle. That's why the Winner Circle was formed. And what is TWC? As in the Winner Circle. And what do we do? And Winner Circle is an invitation-only, ROI-focused mastermind forum for successful entrepreneurs. Typically, it's authors, speaker, thought leaders, subject matter experts, high-level successful CEOs. These are people that are invited and they come to Winner Circle events. And you know what? I started in 2007, and when I read this principle, remember, this is 2006, I started researching Mastermind, and I couldn't find the kind of mastermind that I was looking for. And most of the masterminds that I found, they sit around and more often just generate ideas. I didn't want it to be an idea-focused mastermind. I wanted an ROI, return on investment focused mastermind, more of a business mastermind. Since I couldn't find what I was looking for, so I did the next best thing I could. I studied all of the best ones that are out there, took the best components, and I created my own, the Winner Circle. And the Winner Circle started because I was doing real estate investing back then, 2006. I started with all real estate gurus. I invited all the top real estate gurus to join, and at the peak we had about 175 members. But when the 2008-9 the market crashed and the bottom fell out, and all the real estate gurus also dropped like flies, and just out of survival, what I did out of necessity became a great blessing. I opened it up for other gurus from other internet marketing and other people who are experts outside of real estate starting to join. And now people from every industry is coming and joining the Winner Circle. So what is it that we do? We do three things. We create an ROI plan, meaning that how are you going to, for your time and investment, how are you going to get your return? And I'm going to give you an example. Number two, we enhance your position in your respective industry. How can you give you more credibility in your industry by joining us? And number three, we build quality relationships. This is what we do at Winner Circle Mastermind. And so ROI focused, market position enhancement, and quality relationships. So what is the fastest way to grow your business without spending any money? I have two words for you. Literally, it is joint venture. Joint venture is the fastest way to grow your business without spending any money. And what is joint venture, and why doesn't it cost? As a matter of fact, I was at a Jay Abraham program a long time ago, but I just saw him again in Beverly Hills last month at an event. And he was, one of the greatest marketers alive today. And he was asked that, hey man, all these hundreds of marketing techniques, if you lost everything, how would you get it back? And he said, through this one principle of marketing. He called it endorsement marketing, and I call it joint venture. And think about it right now, that what I'm doing with Julie is also a prime example of joint venture. And it's no secret. So meaning that I'm going to lift the curtain a little bit, and I'm doing a seminar right after this. I'm in another webinar right after Julie, and then I did another one this afternoon. These are all my joint venture partners. So joint venture partners, that means they have their list, their friends. And did I spend any money? No. It's because they're endorsing me. They're telling their tribe that, hey, I'm doing a webinar with Roger Salam. He's going to talk about this. Come and listen. And then when they come, and should they decide to invest in my program, in my services, whatever, then the joint venture partner and me, we share the revenue. And when do I have to pay the revenue? Of course, after they have given us the revenue. And we reward handsomely the other person because we do all the work. The other person is just, if you have a tribe, then beautifully you can do it. So all the credibility of that person goes along to their tribe. So I believe that Julie was talking about that the best joint ventures are those that are built on relationships. And how did I didn't go and approach Julie, and Julie didn't approach me, because first we formed a relationship. And then from the relationship came this program. Who knows how many lives we're going to change? That she's being a catalyst to this. And I believe that the best joint venture are those when each party feels they got the better end of the deal. Those are the best joint ventures, that they're both giddy that, oh, I can't believe that so-and-so is going to do joint venture with me. And the other person, oh, I can't believe they'll let me market their product. It's going to position me, blah, blah, blah. They're both excited. And that's the best joint venture. And look at it. So when people come to my mastermind, the way that primarily they monetize is I do the matchmaking. I go around and find out who there can do a one joint venture and then make all the money back to those joint ventures. Some of you know I met you through the David Fagan program. David Fagan is one of my best friends, and he and I go back, several years, and he's been coming to my programs, and he has referred business to me. We both have done joint ventures to help each other. And second thing I said that we do for each other is we help position us better in the industry. Now, how to become an instant expert? Because I hang around with gurus, because I organize gurus. I remember one time in an interview, they just called me the guru's guru. And it's not because I'm guru's guru, it's because I organize gurus. And so if anybody wants to reach the gurus, instead of reaching them one at a time, they come to me, and then they reach all the gurus at one time. Now, because one thing is for sure, that none of these gurus, no matter how big or how small, none of them were gurus in the beginning. They all were, somebody, ordinary person, and then they established themselves as an authority in their marketplace, in their field, to become a guru. So, very simply, if you want to become a guru, an instant expert, I have seen a pattern. I can take, if you're on the call today, listening to me, and said, you know what, and you have, think that what am I going to do hanging around with all these gurus? I can make you an instant guru. And how to make an instant guru? Here is simple. Become an author. You have to become an authority in your field. And the best way to become an authority is to look at the first part of the word authority spells author. So you cannot become an authority without being an author in public. Of course you can, meaning that public will give you more credibility if you're a published author. CNN will invite you for a special interview for your topic because you're in high demand. And if you don't know how to write, you have all of those things, they're experts, we can get it done for you, and literally overnight. So once you become an author, then you start create a following and build your list. If you don't know how to build a list, those are today, through technology and through your mastermind, you can build a list instantly. I built a list of 20,000 people practically overnight, and through my Winner Circle members mastermind. And sooner or later you'll realize that no matter what business you're in, the greatest asset that you have is your list of clients and your list of prospects and your list of students. Those are your greatest asset, not the bricks and mortars and the desk and the computers. And the assets are the list. So interview other experts. Where are you going to find them? In your mastermind group. Any mastermind group, join a mastermind group, and if you cannot find one, then do what I did. Start your own. And Google it. If you need help, call me. Number 4, make yourself visible. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Make yourself visible in all of this media these days so that you can, the same content that you have, now you've all these different arenas that you start using to market yourself. And finally, hang around with other experts and thought leaders. Take your selfies with these people. So when you go to a conference, when you go to places, always take selfies with experts, with the speakers, so that, and put it on your social media channels. And so I'm going to give you an opportunity to do all of these things in one setting and to become an instant celebrity, instant expert. And so with that, I believe that at the end, the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. Truly, that your life will boil down to the quality of your relationships. And we live in a high-tech world, but I believe that this, if you put this high touch, will make all the difference. What separated me from most people is in this high-tech world, when people are focused on managing leads and funnels, I manage friendships and relationships. I manage friendships and relationships. That's what I do on a daily basis. And I'm going to show you a case study of a relationship, what it can do for you. This is the 38,000 square foot Mastermind Mansion. This is my biggest real estate acquisition of my career. And in 2008, 2009, I acquired this mansion in Tampa, Florida. This is the biggest house in public record, at least at that time, that I know of. And this came about, by the way, anything good and great that has happened to my life is a direct, not indirect, direct result of my Winner Circle mastermind group. How did I know about this house? I would not even, most people think about it. If you ask them, have you ever set foot in a 38,000 square foot private residence? Most people haven't. I mean, what do you do in that? What do you have to make it 38,000 square foot? Incredible. So, how did it come about? One of my members, who is a real estate expert, and he's a fractional real estate expert, had this house as a listing to do fractional real estate, and they were trying to sell it at the best time, 2008. Obviously, that, I'm being facetious, it's the worst time to sell houses, so they were trying to piecemeal it, and then he asked me that, hey, would you like to take a look at it? I went there to look at it, and the second biggest house in this community was about 25,000 square feet, and that went on the market for 25 million. And this is 38,000 square foot. I said, no way, I'm not even in the same league. The owner, I told him that, listen, I don't want to even pretend that I can buy this house, but what I can do is I do know the successful people that I hang around with. I can help you sell it. His first question was, so are you an agent? Are you a broker? How am I going to pay you? I said, hold on. I don't want to get paid in that traditional way. What I want to know, how you can pay me, is tell me, what is it that you do in order to own a house like this? And hence started my relationship. I will bring people to the house. When they will go tour of the house, I will go tour of his office. I will literally sit down, have a journal just for him, and ask him questions. Question like, what's going to be your legacy? Have you written a book? Do you want to come and speak to my group? He's going, no. He's a very private person. And by the way, this is not his net worth or his income. In one single year, his personal income tax was $110 million. That's what he paid in taxes in one single year. And and he's a Stanford undergrad, Harvard MBA, studied law, Vietnam vet, all combined in one person, CEO of a billion-dollar company. And he was a mergers and acquisitions M&A guy. And so, long story short, 6 months into our relationship, one day I bring some of my mastermind. He will never, come and speak. So I brought some of my friends, said, can I show the house? He goes, absolutely. We are now friends. So after one of my friends left, they were so impressed with the house. And then he called me, he said, hey, remember that mastermind that you do? What if you did it in this house? I said, oh my God. I said, but I told you that I can't afford it. He goes, don't worry about affording. What if I own or finance you? I said, wow, if you're willing to own or finance, nothing is impossible. Then I said, but I have two conditions. I said, first, my business must be able to pay for it, the payment, and number two, you must mentor me. And he said, no, I'm too busy. I can't. I said, no deal. I literally said no deal because I said, you think I want the house? No, I want the knowledge that built the house. I want you to mentor me. Another 6 months went by, and finally realize that my thing hasn't changed. He was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and people always ask him for money. They'd always try to sell him something. I never tried to sell him anything. I never brought him a deal. Only thing I asked always was questions about the same thing. I said, what's going to be your legacy? Why would you come in? Why would you go to the grave with all this knowledge inside of you? Write a book. And finally, he goes, oh, okay, I will. And then he said, okay, I will mentor you. I said, great, let's write the deal. And he wrote the deal. But think about it, it's a game changer. Imagine me trying to out-negotiate this guy. He will just chew me up and just spit me out. Totally. But when he came to me, I didn't have to do anything. He did everything. And I knew that he'd be fair, now that I've called him my mentor. And I've taken him to Bangladesh. He invested in the company. Then I never sold him anything he bought. And he invested in my members' companies. So how many of these people you need in your life? Just one is good enough. And so this is an example of, I never went to this house to anything but to help him. So I'm going to give you the #1 principle for building quality relationship. It is so simple that you might miss it. You might just say, I know. But again, I know is the killer of learning. So listen with an open mind. And remember the definition of true knowing, the Zen proverb, to know and not to do is not to know. The secret for building quality relationship is get into the relationship to give, not to get. Again, to give, not to get. The getting part is automatic. And since I've given you the biggest way to principle for building relationship, let me also tell you the biggest mistake that people make in building relationships. Here it is. Don't rush relationships. Relationships are like the trees. All kinds of different trees. They all have a natural growth rate. You cannot hurry a tree and say that, hey, I'm going to water it more so it grows faster. You're going to kill it if you water it too much. So relationships are like that. But there are some relationships that are pretty much like flowers that bloom instantly. So don't chase contacts, don't chase leads, don't chase joint ventures. Develop relationships. It will pay big. It will pay big. And I promise you that if you truly come from your heart, and you cannot go wrong. And let me finish today by giving you 3 ways to create lasting relationships. And very simply, one is help people with money. If you help people make money, they will forever be grateful to you. Think about it. Everyone, directly or indirectly, if you teach them how to make money, if you do a joint venture with them to make money, they will always, always be grateful to you. Now, if you do #2, I believe it is more powerful than money. Help people with their health. There's an old saying that a healthy person has many wishes. A sick person has only one. Only one. And the third, I believe, is more powerful than 1 and 2 combined. If you want people to be indebted to you for life, for generational indebtedness, then help people, not with them, but with their children. I ask a question in my seminar sometimes. I said, how many of you have children? To those who raise their hands, I ask a question that how many of you, please keep your hands up, if you're willing to take a bullet for your child? I have not seen one hand go down as of today. I want you to think about it, that they're telling me that their children's life is more valuable than their own life. So if you help them with their children, they will be more indebted to you. They will do anything for you. I am in my life, I'm in where I'm right now, is I'm helping my friends' kids. I'm writing recommendation letters. I'm helping them with their jobs. I'm giving them jobs. That's where, and you cannot buy that kind of loyalty. If you help, as a matter of fact, I do parallel teen programs and youth programs. When I go I love to speak to colleges and high schools every chance I get, because I love to impact the next generation, because those kids are my friends' children now. So keep this in mind when you're looking at making a difference. There's three ways. I don't have time today, but I could give you another case study that how I built a relationship with Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus. He's from Bangladesh, that's where I'm from. He's our pride and joy. What an incredible man! And he's the one that started the concept of micro lending, and became a global phenomenon. And he's helped millions and millions of people around the world, not just in Bangladesh. And I'm doing a joint venture program, I do a program in Bangladesh with him and promote. So that's another time. I believe that achieving success while serving others is the greatest success. If you can do that at the same time, nothing is better than helping others while you're achieving success. So let me share with you an opportunity that you have to do all this, apply everything that I've shared with you, and by attending the Winner Circles event, 9th annual invitation-only Mastermind Cruise. Once a year, this is my flagship event. Every year in December, I take about 100 thought leaders and on this cruise. This year it's December 11th through the 18th, and we're going from Port Canaveral near Orlando to Bahamas, and from there to St. Martin and St. Thomas. And I want to show you, if you go to this website, internationalwinnercircle.com, that's on your screen, and remember this special code, WINNER50. I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So when I click on it, it'll take me to the website, and you can go, it's a thought leader mastermind community. You go to upcoming events, or you can scroll down and find that also. You click on upcoming events, and you go to the first one, 9th annual Thought Leader Mastermind at Sea, December 11th through 18th, and it'll take you to the page, and you'll see a short video about the Winner Circle and about last year's Mastermind Cruise and all the great people that have attended there. And you'll see there's a note from myself, and it is an invitation only. We do reserve the right to not accept someone, and their full itinerary is here with day 1, day 2. I have seen deals that never happen in land, they happen at sea. I know it's a mixture of the pina colada and the waves, but the truth is, we're so busy when we're going to seminars, rush. When we get on the cruise, everybody's now let their hair down. It's just relaxed. And if you watch the video, you'll see a testimonial that in 4 hours, one guy inked a 6-figure deal, literally inked the deal 6 figures that he couldn't do in 3 years. You can reach the unreachables here literally from this. So if you need more reasons, I believe simply is that if I have to sell you, you're not ready. But if you really need reasons, go to the top 10 reasons of why you should be here, and look at building relationship is the key. This is not about just glad-handing seminar, because this is the only event where we not only we encourage you to bring your spouse, your children, because we're going to have a parallel mastermind for the team, so that your children can learn these concepts today, not have to wait this long. So, and every one of those, and the itinerary, every tab has a register button. So if you click on the register button, it'll take you to the registration page. And then right there, you'll see the double occupancy. That means if you just want to come with you and your spouse or partner, that's double occupancy. If you want triple occupancy, that means you want to bring 1 child, or quad occupancy, you want to bring 2 child, or solo occupancy, you want to come, but you don't want to share. And that each one, the price is different, or you want a stateroom, you don't mind sharing, because all prices are per person. So if you go over here and stateroom, and you'll see that the price is $9,997 per person. And what you'll do over here, and you'll choose, let's say, the boardwalk balcony. If you choose a higher level category cabin, it'll cost more. And so let's say we stay with the boardwalk house. So you write your name and you put your date of birth, and that's all you do, your date of birth and your name, and then you hit add to cart. And then what you do is you remember that your special promo code, winner50, winner50, and once you apply this $997 or whatever the amount, this is your investment, $49.98.50 per person. Then you can go check out and just put in all your billing info. And or if you want to bring your, it's $49.98. If you want to bring your spouse, let's say that your spouse name is Julie, and Julie's date of birth is, let's say, 7/4/1970, and so then you add to cart. Now you'll sorry, I need to go back over here. Sorry, double occupancy. So you and your spouse will come. Now the price is $14,994 because spouse is $4,997 and the primary person is $9,997. So you add to cart. You put your name and 7, and then you put Julie at 7/14/70, and now you go and you have the cookies. So you have this one. So now what you do, if that's the case, you put winner50 and apply. The 14.9 becomes 7,497. So that's your checkout, and just continue. And those of you, one of my requests is, if this is this one place, you're one contact away from your next six-figure deal. You're one contact away from your next best idea. You're one contact away from your next joint venture partner. And this is that 1 week, this is where we figure out our next year's joint ventures, our next year's speaking engagements. I just book my calendars right there while we're there on board with all these people. That people come with their JV partners, and all kinds of deals are happening right there while we're on the cruise. So with that, I'm going to give you one other resource also. It's if you have questions and you cannot get a hold of me, just call Marco. Marco is the Senior VP of Business Development at the Winner Circle. Marco at thewinnercircleinc.com. There's Marco's email, and then he will call you back asking your questions. And I hope that you take advantage of this opportunity. It is that by the way, my mentor that I showed you, that the one who I got the house from, he hasn't been there for the last 3 years, but this year he's going to be on the cruise. So what would be like to just know that person for a week? And of course, he's not the only one. Laura Langmeyer is coming. David Fagan is coming. I mean, this is like sixth year in a row coming. This has become a tradition among all the people that are coming. Laura Langmeyer was there last year for the first time. She's coming again. And so I would love to see you on the cruise. And until that time, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. You have my phone number there also. This is my direct phone number, 813-482-3814. Because I travel a lot, best way to reach me is through text or email Marco, and he will get back to you chances much, much faster. With that, I sincerely hope that I've added some value and that you will take advantage of this opportunity should it be the right thing for you to do. Julie? Are you there?
Oh, thank you so much, Roger. That was incredible. I've heard Roger speak a few times now, and I still get more and more out of it every time I hear him. So thank you so much for your time, Roger. This is an absolutely incredible opportunity, I know this ship. It's a beautiful ship, St. Martin and St. Thomas, but that's not the important part. It's those relationships and connections you can be able to make there. So thank you so much for sharing that opportunity with us, Roger, and for that incredible discount for our group today. And I appreciate the time on the call, and I totally agree with everything he said about the relationships and how important that is. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Wonderful. So good night, God bless, and Godspeed.